Welcome to today's live. I have a wonderful session for you today. For today, we're going to be talking about on the road to seven figures. I'm holding my phone in my hand, so please apologize. We're going to be talking about on the road for seven figures. What are some of the things that will be important in your business when you're getting to the first 100, 300, 600, and up to $1 million in your business? Really excited. I have a special guest today, Ann Carden, and she will be covering a lot of the requirements for you as a business owner. She's a business coach, as well as she helps her clients get to multiple six figures up to seven figures in their business. Then from a financial perspective, we will also look at one of those things that you need to start doing from a tax perspective and financial perspective, because we want to make sure that you have the information to make money as well as to keep money. So thanks for tuning in today, and I will go ahead and let Ann say hi to you guys. So let's see. Let's wait for her now. So let me know if you have any question. If you're catching us live, go ahead and leave us a comment. If you're catching us on a recording, go ahead and also leave us a comment as well. Hey, Usama, thanks for joining. Hey, Ann, how are you?
It's a while to connect here. Veronica, thank you so much for having me on. I'm
Thank you
excited to be here
for
with you.
thank you for joining. This should be a fun experience for us today, right?
It will be. It will be. I love the make money, keep money, right? It's not about how much you make,
It's,
it's how
it's,
much you
it's
keep.
always
So I
how
love
much we
that.
keep. So we have to make sure that we give them that information. You can go ahead and introduce yourself, Ann.
Great. So my name is Ann Carden. I'm a business and marketing coach and strategist, consultant. I work with a lot of coaches and consultants, but I do also work with small business owners as well. But I really help them. I like to say grow their business kind of from the inside out, where they're more profitable and they're maximizing their money and they're optimizing their operations, and helping them really build a sustainable and profitable,
Yes,
high
you know,
profit
I hear,
business.
profitability, I hear sustainable business, and those are extremely important. And that's when I come in, because once you start making all that money, then what I do is I help my clients to implement tax strategies so that they save anywhere from five to over $100,000 on their taxes. And what that helps them do is to keep more money in their pocket and increase cash flow. So now with all these things that they have to work on, processes, administrative stuff, maybe start hiring people and all of that, when they're going towards that first $100,000, for people that you're working with, what are some of the things that's really important for them to focus on when they're on the road to the first 100K?
Right. So one thing that I like to teach is to keep your business simple. First of all, really set that goal and realize that $100,000 should not be your end goal. And especially if I'm talking to coaches and consultants here on your page, they have in their mind that they want to get to $100,000. But
Yeah.
Ronica, that's not
Mm-hmm.
$100,000 income, right? Because taxes have to come out. And even for most coaches and consultants, they're going to have to invest money back into their business to even learn how to get to their first $100,000. So the first thing is
Mm-hmm.
realize you need a bigger vision, unless you just want kind of a small income. For most coaches, they could probably make more money going and working for someone else than they can just trying to get to $100,000. So, but you can get to $100,000 really with very little help. You can do it organically. But the keys to doing that is you have to focus really on one
Mm-hmm.
one offer. I like to teach. Stay very focused. You need to have one marketing strategy that's actually working to attract clients to you, and then you need to be able to obviously close as many sales as you can, so you're leveraging your time. It really is about one core offer. It's so much easier to focus on how do I sell this one thing, And also I believe in starting high and then working backwards to go lower. So start with a high ticket offer that can get you faster results. Let's say you sell something at $5,000 or $10,000. You only need 20 clients or 10 clients to get to that first $100,000. But then again, realize that that's not going to be all your money,
Yeah,
as a
wonderful. And
lot
I
of people
so
think.
agree with that. The one offer and one marketing. I think that, when, I was on my road, to make my first $100,000 in business, I was spreading myself so thin across so many items. So it's like, full disclosure, I had to go get, a coach to figure out, just like, what's going on. I'm in a very
We all
profitable
did that. We all did
business,
that.
but it's like I'm constantly tired, I'm
Right.
constantly working, I have no time to market and so forth, to help you figure that out, to make sure that you do have to trim things down, focus on your main offer, the pricing and so forth. That will
Mm-hmm.
really help you to optimize things. And I completely agree. And then we also said that $100,000 is never $100,000 on the money side. What I find is that you have to think about how much you're actually going to take home. So they may think that, okay, it will be nice for me to take home about
Right.
$100,000, but they didn't think about, okay, even if my business is making $100,000, I have business expenses, I have taxes to think about, I have reinvestment, as you said, that sometimes you have to put money aside to reinvest in the business. So maybe getting a business coach next year, maybe invest into a
Mm-hmm.
website and getting all those assets set up for your business. That is gonna,
Mm-hmm.
you need to keep some of that money in the business. So a lot of times, even if, as you said, that don't keep your
Right.
goal to 100,000, because you're definitely gonna need more money than that. So I think that's gonna be the takeaway, even from a money perspective. Just understand that you're going to need more than $100,000. So I normally say that, how much money do you need to take home, pay your bills, go on vacation, take care of your children? How much money do you need to do that?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's more than $100,000, then that means that your business need to make way more than that to cover all the expenses and so forth. And then, once they
Mm-hmm.
decide that, yes, 100 grand is just not a lot of money for me, I want more money. I want my projection.
It's about 50,000, 45 or $50,000
Exactly.
income,
So
I
I
believe.
want
Yeah.
to jump to
Yeah. So
300,000. When they start thinking about that bigger 300,000, what would you say would be the key to focus on at this point?
yeah, so I think when coaches and consultants are getting started, or this could be any business really, they're kind of in what I like to call stage one, right? They're trying to figure everything out. They're trying to figure out how to make money and how to close sales and do all those do all those pieces that it takes to get their business rolling. But once they start getting to maybe, maybe that's 150,000 up, even around that $200,000 mark. At this point, they need to start thinking about leveling up. This is where they're going to start charging higher fees. This is where they're going to probably level up their brand. Their audience is going to change to a degree, what they're selling. So I like to say, when you're starting out, you're selling smaller problems that are just going to get you some clients, right? But as you start leveling up, you start
Mm-hmm.
solving bigger problems that are going to help you make more money. And so you have to think that you have to realize that the strategies you start out with as a coach or consultant are not going to be the same strategies that are going to take you into multiple six or even seven figures. And I think that's a common mistake coaches kind of make. They hit this wall and they can't figure out, why am I not getting any further, right? And it's because they're still doing sort of their startup strategies. They're still kind of stuck,
Mm-hmm.
I like to
Yeah.
say, stuck in startup mode, instead of like moving into that stage two in their business. And stage two in their business is kind of like taking what's working and let's make it better. Okay, now let's level it up. And now you can start making bigger financial leaps. But it also gets your business into a little bit more of an ease and flow. So you're no longer trying to figure out how to get clients. You're trying to make what you're
Yes,
doing
that
work
makes a
better,
lot of
if that
sense.
makes
So the
sense.
key here is leveling up, find out what's working for you at this point, and be better at it, improve it. And
Mm-hmm.
when we're talking about the
Yes.
road to 300,000, here is how much profit are you going to make from that? If you're in I would call it low overhead business, coach, consultant, service-based business, if you don't have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of overhead, then a lot of what you're going to be making you may reinvest it in the business for the next year, or it will be take home money or money that you have fun with. So from like a tax perspective, this is when you're going to start, taking a look at your entity. Are you operating under the most tax efficient entity? How are you paying yourself? What's the best way to pay yourself at this point? And also what type of reimbursements you can take. So this is when you really want to look at getting compliance in order, getting at least QuickBooks to track your numbers and making sure that you have correct numbers, correct expenses, have some kind of system to track it. If you're like an Excel person, you can do it in Excel if it works for you. If you have additional funds, you can hire a bookkeeper and help them keep track of things for you. So this is when you're going to start searching for, how can I reduce how much I'm going to pay in taxes, since a lot of what I'm going to be making is going to be pretty much profit, right? Maybe about, at least 50% will be at least profit. If you don't have like a lot of large expenses and you're not just spending money wildly in your business, how you're going to be able to lower the taxes by being strategic on your entity, and also how you pay yourself and what type of reimbursements that you can also run through the business. I'm still kind of toggling with my phone in my hand because you see I'm moving a little bit when I'm talking, so I don't want my
No
camera
worries.
to be all over the place. So I'm still trying to get it steady. So focusing on what is already working for you at this phase is important. So let's take a step to a higher number. What about when they're heading towards, let's see, 600 to 800,000 their business? So this is when, the revenue is getting to this point. They've already met their 300 and they're starting to project that this is how much I want to make, for the rest of 2019.
Right. First of all, I just want to kind of make a point that, in response to what you were saying, one thing that people need to realize is when they're first starting, they're going to have a big investment to get to a certain level, right? As you start getting up to even kind of going back a little bit to that 300,000, now you're not necessarily investing at the same level, but you're going to have other expenses. And so, I suggest, you did not say this, but I do suggest that you get a CPA or you get a bookkeeper, you get someone, once you're over $100,000,
Yes.
you need someone like yourself, a professional. I cannot recommend that enough. I won't work with a business unless they have a professional bookkeeper or a professional person that, can really help them in their business.
I didn't even remember to say it myself.
Well, no, no, they absolutely need that. So, but of course, now that you're getting up there, the thing is, you have to realize you're not an investment. I mean, you're an investment for people. You're not a cost for people.
Right.
So that's the first thing they have to realize is you're going to help them save money. They're going to put that money back in their pockets. So to think of it in terms of, I can't afford, or I don't want to spend the money, that is not, that's not a good mindset, because if you are just like I do, I help them make money, right?
In
You do
different
the same
ways,
thing.
right?
We
It's
just do it in different ways.
More money in
And
their
so,
pockets, right?
yes. Exactly. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? So you and I are both an investment into someone's business, which we're not a cost to their business. So a lot of times people think, oh, I can't afford, but really you can't afford not to. I mean, that's really the truth. And I found that out for myself.
Yeah.
Yes, years and years ago. So, okay. So moving on to like 600,000, 800,000. Now at this point, most coaches and consultants are going to start looking for hiring help, or they're going to start probably outsourcing some of the things that they're doing. They may even at this point start running paid advertising. And I like to say this is kind of where you are starting to leverage what you are doing in your business. So you've got things that are working, and now you're ready to really kind of put it on steroids. This is kind of moving into stage 3 in your business. When you get into those higher multiple 6 figures in your business and move into 7 figures. So this is where you can start hiring people. You can look at, and for you, I know that you probably help them to determine which is going to be the best fit for their business. Is that hiring employees, or is that actually outsourcing and using contract help? I actually use a mix. I have an employee that works for me. She's my executive assistant. But most of the things, I have a team that I outsource a lot of the things that I do in my business too. And so there are multiple ways you can do this, and it really comes down to what fits your business the best. But to know that when you start getting into those levels, you are going to have some kind of help. You need to have some kind of help, or you're going to again hit those brick walls.
Yeah, and then
go ahead.
the mindset of, you know, you do it all yourself, people that thinks that, you know, no one else is going to work with your clients are not going to want to work with anyone else. They feel like they have to always be in control of everything and no one can do it. You know, like the way they do it. And, you know, and some people just, you know, downright says that, you know, I don't want to have to deal with employees, contracts, or anything. Like, what's kind of like the wake up call or the things that they have to keep in mind if they're carrying around that mindset that, you know, it's just too difficult to be dealing with other people to help me in my business? For an employee or a contractor. Have you ever heard that? Like, I've heard that a lot of times.
Oh, I've built a lot of businesses. I've been building businesses for 30 years. This is my coaching and consulting business is my sixth business. So I have dealt with my share of employees, and I swear I would never have another one because I get all that. But at the end of the day, look, no one reaches success on their own. They just don't. It's just, that is such a, that's just again a scarcity mindset to think that you can really reach high levels on your own. None of us do it. Even if we're solo, we still have to surround ourselves with great people that can, you know, pour into us and feed us and teach us, right? And so to think that you can be solo and just do everything on your own, number one, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, but you're also, you know, if you think it's stressful to have an employee or to work with, you know, consultants or contractors, it's more stressful trying to do everything yourself. You just can't do it. And it's kind of ridiculous to even think that you can build a business that way. If we could, everyone would be doing it, right?
You know,
you can't.
You make that investment into the people, and then, you know, you have more time to put into those, you know, passion projects and to go, you know, focus on the things that you do best. That's the part that I like, that I can just focus on the things that I just really like doing, and I don't have to do those other parts that, you know, like, you know, I don't want to do my own bookkeeping. Sorry, but I don't. So
right,
and you can't, right?
And you can't. First of all, you can't be an expert at it. You can't be an expert at everything. You don't have enough mental bandwidth, and you don't have enough hours in the day. And so it makes sense to outsource the things that you're not good at, or you really don't want to invest, you know, like really invest your time into. And especially if you love to coach and you love to consult people, and that's your sweet spot, then you need to, you know, you can outsource a lot of other things that can help your business keep rolling. And so you definitely want to do that. Gosh, I actually thought of something as you were talking, and now it's kind of left my brain. So maybe I'll think of it. It will come back. But yeah. Oh, I know one thing I was going to say. So there are different levels where people decide to invest in maybe hiring someone or investing in, you know, contracting things out. And so first of all, if you don't know how to do something and you don't really have the hours or the time to spend, then that makes sense to outsource. But there are times when you get in your business to a certain point where you think, you know what, now I want more freedom and time. So I'm getting older and my husband's retired and we like to travel and we love to do all those things. So for me, it was worth it to actually invest back into my business to get help a little bit earlier than maybe most people would want to do. And so I think you have to find what fits your lifestyle, and where do you see that sort of that point being where I'm ready to outsource some of this so I can get freedom in my life. And so you're going to give up a little bit more for that, but my time is worth it to me. I realize my days are, you know, my time is getting shorter as I'm getting older. So I don't have 20 more years to build my business, you know, and so it's important for me to enjoy and do what I love, but also have freedom and time in my life. So you have to kind of make that decision in your business.
That, you know, I also recall that last year, that was one of the big decisions that I was faced with as well, because I was pregnant all year last year. And this year I was going to have a new baby is going to be tax season, all of that. So I really had to figure out early that, what are some of the help that I'm going to need, how my 2019 is going to be so that I can, get some help, not only, with, childcare, but also, in my business to say that, some of these stuff I just really have to get off my plate and outsource them or find someone that can I end up outsourcing that can help me to get some of these things done so that I can't stay up late at night anymore because I'm exhausted. I'm so exhausted after how many,
I understand
back and forth with baby lifting, picking up, my back hurts and all of that. And then, running a business that, I can't stay up all that late hours. And that's something that I really had to plan around as well. But, my situation is, I'm going to have a new addition in my life. So I have to make time for that. And then when we look at, then basically leveraging, I like that word. That word is just very comforting. How do you leverage things in your business as well as your time, right? And when they're moving towards that $1 million, $1 million just sounds just cool, just sexy. Like $1 million is just like, even you want multiple millions, but
right.
just heading towards $1 million is just kind of like, I made it.
Well, you know what? I think, I teach a lot, even $500,000 for a coach or consultant. That can be an incredible lifestyle for them without really a lot of extra stress and all of that. But I think 7 figures, it may not be every coach and consultant's, goal to hit 7 figures. And we know that it takes a lot to get to that. However, when you get to that, really, it can give you really the lifestyle that you want. It can now free you up to, to be able to give back in such a bigger way. I mean, I think you should be doing that all along, with any amount of money you're making. But now you can actually make a bigger impact. You can have more influence. You can start doing things a little bit more for fun. Maybe you love to speak, and so you can actually start speaking, and you can start, it becomes bigger than yourself. So when you are in that, you go from stage 1, which is about, that 100, 150, into stage 2, which is more into the multiple 6 figures, kind of low. But then when you're getting higher into that 600,000, 800,000, 7 figure, now you're like in what I like to call stage 3, where you're going to have to make some shifts in your business. So now you can leverage your time, right? Because you can't do everything yourself. But it also means you might have to restructure your offers. You might go to more of a group coaching program. You're no longer doing all the done for you services. That could be a factor for a lot of consultants or marketing agencies. You've got to get out of sort of all that done for you mode. And then when you get to 7 figures, I think that this is really where you can, the first 7 figures is going to be, beyond the first 6 is going to be the hardest for most people to get to. And once they're at that 7 figures, they can either, it's going to be very difficult for them to stay there, quite honestly, because their business is going to just take off. I mean, if they just keep doing what they're doing, it's going to grow.
Yeah, awesome.
Right. So, but keeping more of that money for sure. A lot of them, there are a lot of 7-figure businesses out there that are barely making a 6-figure income. That's not my idea of a great business.
No, it is not my idea as well. Is how much money, because you can make a lot of money, and once you figure out that formula, as you said, that you help your business start bringing in revenue, but how strategic you're going to be with that money that's coming in your business. And as you said that someone had said this to me, that entrepreneurs, they don't really retire or anything, and that's completely fine. They just slow down. But what I also find that a lot of them have made a lot of money over the years, but they just don't really have any money put aside. And no one wants to have the boring put aside money conversation and so forth. But it becomes really important, because you don't have a boss that's going to be putting away money for you and contributing to a 401k plan and all of these things. So this is like something that you really have to be cognizant of and start manning yourself to say that, it's time for me. Once you start, getting over 100,000, or even before that, you can start, having some conversations, with a CPA, accountant, a financial planner, to see how you can start putting those steps in place. And also, it also helps you to lower your taxes once you start planning ahead for your future. How you also
Hmm.
take some of that business income and start investing it. That for sure just helps you just cut your tax rate once you start adding to your investment
Hmm.
portfolio and you're starting to have different types of income. Because what people don't know, that it different type of income that you have, there's a different tax rate that's applied to it, and having a mix is basically the goal. So that's why
Right.
they complain that, all these rich people don't pay taxes and so forth, because they know how to have a mix of income, investments and so forth, so that they
Hmm.
basically offset the tax effect of each other. So, really it becomes important to start putting money aside for something. I don't care what they want to
Hmm.
call it, retirement, rainy day. Look at, how to protect the
Hmm.
assets in your business, different, insurance, life insurance, anything like that. And also, how you
Hmm.
can start saving money on taxes so that you can put money in your pocket. And I think that this can be implemented at each stage I really think that once someone start off on a good
Hmm.
foot on the money side, then they're more likely to continue, because sometimes you'll find people that have been in business for 10 years and they've never really formalized some of this, and they may have some kind of crisis situation happening that basically push them to start doing things, and then sometimes
Hmm.
it's a bit late. They have lost a lot, or they just have a lot of things to contend with, maybe a huge tax bill from the IRS or something like that, which is quite unfortunate. So everyone that's watching this live in a replay, just start putting that information in the back of your mind to slowly start going towards that goal. Even if you're making your first $100,000, you know you can save at least
Hmm.
$5,000 on your taxes if you're paying yourself, based on how much you're paying yourself and taking home. So, Anne, we talked about them leveraging their time, them up leveling up level in their business, hiring help, trying to be more strategic with their time. What's one of the final thing that you really have to say to them, so that they basically get the full picture?
Hmm. Well, I actually want to add to what you were just saying. I mean, I think you really kind of wrapped it up there with, you have to plan ahead. You have to plan for things like retirement. The other thing, I work with a lot of multiple seven-figure businesses, and I can tell you it doesn't matter how big you get. If
Right.
you have not planned to be sustainable, you can
Just as
go
quick,
out of
yeah.
business just as quick as you went into business. Uh-huh. And so you have got to, part of being responsible in a business is doing things just like what you're talking about. Put away for retirement, put away, even putting money
Right.
away for the growth of your business. Most business owners don't even do that. And a lot of times, they could be more profitable than they are, but they don't really
Mm-hmm.
understand how to do that, right? And so obviously that's where a coach or a consultant can come in to help them maximize that money in their business. But then,
Responsible.
really being responsible as a business owner, because, think about this. And if you're a small business or you have employees, you have a responsibility not just to your family, not just to, stay to the people you help in your business, the difference you make, but you have a responsibility to the people that are employees of your company. It's
Right,
much
right,
bigger than
right.
yourself, right? And I think we
Mm-hmm.
have a responsibility to give back and be a bigger impact in the world around us. So all of those things, you've got to understand the money. I think that's the biggest thing, is when you are in business, understand the money side of it. And if you don't understand that, there's no shame in not knowing, there's shame in not learning. And that's probably what I
Awesome.
I will say. You can have anything you want, but you've got to take responsibility, and you've got to grow and learn and realize that, it's
Yes, yes,
what business is all
responsibility.
about,
I
right?
like that. Well, thank you so much. And that's a lot of great information that you've shared today.
Thank you.
And thanks for everyone that tuned into the live. If you're watching the replay, leave us a comment as well. Thank you, Nicole. Remember, everyone, if you don't have a tax savings plan, you are overpaying on your taxes. Have a good day.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ronica. It was
Take
so
care.
great to be here with you. Bye, everyone.